going on, everybody? We are back in the shop after a long week. Been trying to get time to get out here, but I don't get off of work till around 7, 8 o'clock-ish. I live like an hour away from work, so that puts me home in the 9, 10 o'clock at night range. So it's never good to be out here thrashing on stuff late at night because we've got neighbors like right there on the other side of the fence, and we're trying to keep things peaceful around here. Yeah, they don't want to hear me out here wrenching on stuff all night. So I tried to get some time to get in here during the week. Couldn't happen. So here we are on Saturday, and I'm gonna get the wheels off of there and start pulling the front suspension out. And if we can get all that done, then I'm gonna go after the right front wheel cylinder because the bleeder screw broke off of it. Fan-fucking-tastic. It's rusty, it's whatever. So I'm gonna replace that wheel cylinder. Well, heck, both wheel cylinders because I've got them. Both front rubber lines and the rear rubber line, so I can try to get the brakes working. Because right now, I only have a left front brake. So backing this thing out of here, it likes to do off-kilter burnouts and tries to walk towards the bench. So I need to get at least so I've got both front brakes working so it'll go straight when I'm trying to pull the thing out. But anyhow, I get set up here and start getting the wheels off and start pulling suspension shit apart. Yeah. So we've got here, it's once I get this all sorted out, get suspension stuff done on this thing, I've got to save up a little bit of money so I can get my clutch and flywheel to do the 5-speed swap on this. So in the meantime there, which will probably be a couple of weeks so I can get some money for that, I got to revisit some the exhaust stuff on the Civic because I made that lower section of the side skirt to run the exhaust out the side of the car, which I got all that done. I just haven't made the steel pipe underneath the car that ties into it. So I think after I get this done, I'm going to get the Honda back in here and finish that. All right. Get you guys in here. So this is what we got, nice and crusty. I don't know, I may do this the dangerous way and just pop these 2 bolts and let it just flop out of there. I mean, the top side of the shock's bolted in right now still, so I'm hoping maybe I can actually just unbolt those 2, pry it out with a long pry bar where I'm out of the way, and then that'll get it off of there and I can just unbolt the top and then it'll somewhat more relaxed come apart. Because I've got lowering springs, so I know I won't have to fight it as much putting it back together. So yeah, I think that's the route we are gonna go. Cool, I'm gonna grab some other tools for that. All right, this is probably gonna be a really dumb way to go about this, but I'm gonna give it a shot anyways, because I'm trying to do this quick and lazy. Oh, actually that worked out a lot better than I anticipated. Cool. Yeah. All right. I guess I can just unbolt the top side and that'll fall right the hell out of there. Cool. Oh, need a 1/2 inch for that. Let's see if we can set you up on the air cleaner over here. Maybe. Yeah, that'll work. not 9/16. It's got some spring tension on it, as I expected. Hopefully, I can just twist this guy with some means. Maybe. How do I want to do this? Well, just like the rear suspension, this is really not the way to do this. Come on. Oof. That's a finger cutter offer. And it has still not done the thing I want it to do. Yeah, cool. I know I can't knock this bar pin out. Not like that, at least. So we'll take more stuff apart. Now I'll probably actually take this plate off the bottom underneath, and that'll relieve the spring pressure. I was just hoping it would pop down as all one chunk, but that ain't gonna happen. Can't be that easy. So we're back under here, and I gotta pull these guys loose because that'll let the shock come loose and it'll all just fall apart right there. So cool. Say hi to Otis. Say hi, Bubba. This is a really dangerous area, buddy. We really don't want to be over here. Yeah, I know. You want to go lay down on the other side of the bike lift? Yeah, you go lay on the other side of the bike lift where it's a little safer. Go on. Go lay down. Go on. Good boy. All right. Let's see. What do you guys see? That'll work. Maybe. Kind of a shitty camera angle, but all about that over here. And what did I do with my extension? I think I set it on top of the, yeah, I set it somewhere. Oh, there it is. Spend more time looking for the tool I just had than actually working on the car. That's such a tight area there. I can't get a ratchet wrench in there. And that is an actual press stud at least. All right, so I guess by hand with a wrench, unbolt those two. Can we get to the back one from down here? Eh, maybe. At least get one of them out with a gun. Optimistically, yes, that'll work right there. Cool. So I can get that one out. Ooh, I don't like how that twisted. High stakes, Jack in the Box. could come apart quick and easy. It could come apart and take teeth with it. Well, at least it doesn't have far to travel. Like, it's under tension, but it's not like a crazy amount of tension. Yeah, see, I can compress the spring with my hands. So it'll be scary when it comes apart, but it's not gonna like break my face when it comes apart. I might pinch my hand pretty good. That's about it. But for further notice and common sense, don't do it this way. I'm doing this entirely wrong. This is not how this is supposed to go. You're supposed to use a spring compressor. You know, do as I say, not as I do. But I'm impatient and I'm willing to risk minor injury. Well, that was very anticlimactic. All right, well, cool. Now I can pry that out of there. As soon as I find my pry bar. There it is. Interesting. You're not bolted to it anymore. But for some reason, you don't want to come apart. Oh, you know what? That other bolt, I'll bet you, is hanging on by like a thread in the back. Oh, come on. Yep, that's what it is. It's just barely hanging on back here. There we go. Did you get that? Maybe. All right. Otis, you need to move, buddy. Go over there. Go on. Nope, that way. Go. Good boy. All right then. Ah, the whole thing has to go with it. Interesting. Well, that's why the other guy gave me the shocks with that top plate. All right, well, that's convenient. Yeah, there we go. Like that. Okay, now we can slide the shorter spring up in there, bolt it to the shock, which thankfully this thing's like a good decompressed. It's like 4 inches shorter than the spring I just took out of there, so it should go back together a little easier. There we go. Then, once this goes back together, it can repeat the process on the other side. Looks like I am going to need the spring compressor to put this together. Shit. Alright, What a pain in the ass, because I'm going to have to do the bolt type ones, because I can't put this in my spring compressor over there, because that's for doing struts, and the spring captures the actual housing of the body there, or the spring cup. It's part of the body, so I can't do it separate. How to go about this? Yeah, there's no getting around it. I'm gonna need to find me a spring compressor, one of the sketchy ones that clamps on either side. I think the only one I have here is a little small one for motorcycle springs, which it definitely isn't going to work on this. Well, shit. I think I'm going to have to go to Harbor Freight or something. Alright, I'm going to go think about this off camera. I'll be back. Alright, so with minor looking around, I discovered that Harbor Freight does in fact sell that spring compressor for about $30 cheaper than AutoZone, and I don't have to ask them, or I don't have to deal with them asking me the year, make, model, trim level, and what transmission is in my car to be able to buy said fucking spring compressor. So I'm gonna go over to Harbor Freight and get that. Who knows, I might find some other goodies that I need while I'm in there. But yeah, that's the game plan now. But that's why I'm doing this today. I didn't put it off till tomorrow because I figured I would run into something that I didn't have or needed to be able to get this job done. So I'm gonna go get that and I'll catch up with y'all in a little bit. Alright, so we're back from Harbor Freight and just going through typical me. My batteries for my wireless microphone died, so hopefully this camera still has a way better built-in mic. So I guess I need to get an external mic to mount on this thing too for when that battery dies. But anyhow, got what we need. So let's start getting that together and hopefully I don't smash my damn fingers, because these little guys like to twist and slide on the damn springs. So you put one on either side and then one side slips and the spring bows to the other side, and then it slams shut and bites your fingers like a damn bear trap. So hopefully that won't happen. Usually I'll go through and put vice grips on either side of them to keep them from sliding down the coils. So I'll probably show you guys how to do that here in a minute. Because, yeah, it might save your fingers. So let me get resituated here. And yeah, that thing. Okay, so today I'm probably not going to be taking my own advice because I'm trying to get this done in a hurry and eating up time with filming and everything. But anyhow, what'll happen usually with these style compressors is you see the slant of the spring. What happens is you're tightening one side, the other side will loosen, and sometimes with the spring pressure it will actually ride down the spring and it'll cause this side to swing over to that side, which is tight. And if your finger's in the middle, it's going to bite down on you pretty hard. I've had the motorcycle spring compressors that are similar to these. do that to me before, and man, did that hurt. It snapped down pretty tight. But anyhow, so a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take a pair of vice grips, grab them right here, and on the other side, so it can't twist and go anywhere on that spring. Another little safety thing, which safety precaution I will not be taking today because I'm in a hurry to get this stuff done. But anyhow, it's all about what flavor you want to run with. It's just a little precaution you could or could not take, entirely up to you, because I am not here for any kind of advice like that. I'm just going to show you the wrong way and how I'm doing stuff to slap something together. By all means, this is not a how-to video. This is not a this is the way you should do it, because 9 times out of 10 I'm doing it wrong anyways. So I'm going to tighten these down and then sling this thing up in there and show you when I go to put this stuff back together. Okay, so now we're back on the driver's side of the car. I have learned from my mistakes on the passenger side. So let's talk about it. What I ended up having to do was take the shock, that whole assembly, back out, get it out of the way for pulling the spring in there. And down here, what I ended up having to do was, to get this guy in, I had to position my spring compressors to where one of them was right here and the other one was right here, and I had to like get them perfectly lined up in those 2 spots to get it to compress far enough so I can get this thing in there and then wedge this rotating plate back in and get it bolted down. And then I had to push up on the bottom control arm with a floor jack to compress it up a little bit so I can bolt the shock down. And yeah, so now that I've done the hard part of figuring all this out, now I can go through and put the other side together, and since I know how to do it now, it'll go together nice and smooth, and it'll look like I knew what I was doing the entire time. Okay, so once you go through and get this together, it should look something like that. So hopefully I can just slide this guy up in here now, as easy as the other side did after I fought with it for, I'm not going to say how long, but it was a while. That guy sits up in there nicely. Just that, fantastic. This guy drops in there, which I will have to pry and push on this a little bit, but it will go. Maybe. You need to be under there. Okay, other things. What the hell happened to that pry bar? There it is. Get that compressed a little bit more. Alright, gotta compress that a little bit more. Alright, tighten those down a little bit more. Hopefully that got me the space I needed, so this will drop in like it's supposed to. Hopefully, maybe. So much closer. Alright, so I needed that. Let's get this turned a little bit, so hopefully it'll want to go in that hole a little easier. And of course, this side would not go together the same way the other side did, because I'm doing the same thing I did to the other side, and now it doesn't work. That only sucked a lot. Get you over there. Now I can unwind these guys. And yeah. Actually get somewhere with it. Son of a bitch. Now it's going to be a real tear. Because it's loose enough that it doesn't want to stay in its seat. But nonetheless, you get the idea. It's in there now. I'll loosen these just enough so it puts a little bit of pressure on that plate, pushing it down, and it'll stay put.
I guess he just wants to put wires and wire it.
What?
I said, I guess he's bringing it over just for me to put 8 hangers on it for right now.
Who's he?
Yeah, Ray with that lowrider bike I was telling you about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just bringing it over.
Cool.
These are a pain in the ass to use, huh?
Yes, they are. They don't, there's not a lot of room to work with, so they suck getting them back out of there.
Yeah, you're in. Ford makes that a much tighter area than I remembered.
Yeah, and they're all like this, like the Gran Torinos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They all use the same suspension setup. Which, I mean, it's not terrible.
It's just you gotta take your time and be in a hurry.
Yeah, it sucks. But it's not too bad.
It's like working on a Corvette.
Yeah, exactly.
No room.
Yeah. It's getting there though. The hard part's done. This sucks not doing it with a ratchet wrench. But if I had one of those, it would have gotten trapped between here and the freaking A-arm anyways. So that wouldn't have worked anyhow. I discovered it works best to just take these bottom halves out completely and then try to take the top half and work it down the spring where I can get to pop it out, because the top half looks just like this and it's trapped up there in between the coils now. So with it at least apart, I can walk it all the way down where it's an easy spot where I can work at it and get it out of there. Because just like the old man said, they do not give you much room to work on these. I mean, it's not the worst design I've ever seen. I'm not incredibly fond of it, but it's not terrible. I'd like to do like a Mustang 2 front end conversion on this thing to put coilovers and rack and pinion and stuff, but that kit's not cheap. So I can knock that pin loose. So I had that pin that locks it on the spring, keep it from popping off. Anyhow, this one just fits really tight because of the diameter of the spring. I was just getting in there with a punch to knock that guy off. And then it popped right out of there. That one out. All right, those are in. Impacts, I can tighten those guys down real quick, and then we can jack this up a little bit, throw that shock in there, and the suspension's installed. That shifted a little bit. It's not quite in the boot. There we go. I think. Ooh, that's sketchy. That's a finger killer. So what happened is the rubber collar at the top of the spring that isolates it, my spring is sitting on part of the ledge. It's supposed to sit in the center of the spring. Oh boy. Let me get a flashlight so I can get in there with a pry bar, because I sure as hell am not sticking my finger between the spring and the body, and that now that there's tension on it. Yeah, that'll hurt like hell. Alright, so that was easy. I just went on ahead, took a long punch, got on the side of the spring in there and popped it with a hammer, and it just shifted off of it, sprung up into where it's supposed to go. So now I'm going ahead, drop my shock down in there, get it bolted on up top, then jack up on the lower control arm so the bolts go into that pivot plate that the spring sits on. And yeah, we're pretty much done here, or at least for the suspension. The other side I've gone through and put this in already, and then had to take it back out to go through and put it together. So At least this time I can do it one time and be done. One thing I've noticed about this camera over the GoPro is a heavy son of a gun. Like, I'm sure it only weighs like 5 pounds or so, but hold 5 pounds with an outstretched arm for more than 20 minutes. Man, that gets old quick. Right, I'm gonna set you down and get a floor jack. All right, now the shock's located. Throw my bushings and washers in there and get this guy bolted up. Let's see, can we get you in on a super close up? Bend this bracket around to hold it. So that way I can actually do this. That'll work. This super flexy tripod stand's pretty freaking awesome. Get the back one in. Hi, Otis. Hi, puppers. Is it almost dinner time? Huh? Gotta love putting stuff in blind. Alright, this one I gotta run by hand. The back one I can get to with the long extension and the impact, so I can just zip it on real fast. Anyhow, you're just about set. Once I get these two tight, throw the wheels back on it, set the car down onto its own weight, see how it sits with the front dropped now since we did the rear in the last video. Hopefully this thing sits level, maybe a little lower in the front, hopefully, because if it sits lower in the front, that makes things a little better, because I'm not a big fan of how it sits. I think because the car is so light from not having any interior and stuff, it's not actually dropping the full 2 inches. It's like 1.75 inches. But anyhow, I'd like to go through and put some clamps on the rear leaf springs to, one, help with axle wrap, and two, for the second thing, is when you put the clamps on there, it tends to lower them about 1/2 inch to 1 inch when it compresses the leaf springs together back there. So, hopefully, it sits a little high in the back, so I can do that, and we can get it a little bit lower, and it'll help keep it from axle wrapping, doing burnouts and shit. It's a win all the way around. Alright, cool. I can pull all this out of here, throw the wheels on real quick, and reposition them. Just show y'all what it looks like. Alright, and that's what we've got. Otis! Can't hurt me inside the shop right now. So yeah, it does sit up a little bit in the back, which is alright. I want that little bit of rake, so I can put the clamps on the back, and it'll bring the back down just a little bit to get it leveled out. And it'll have that road race car look that I want from that early 70s era, especially when I put some bigger and wider rims and tires on this thing. So yeah, that is where we are at. Do you mind? Anyway. But yeah. I think it's starting to actually look like something. So, I think I'm going to call that one a video right there. And then in the next one, I'm going to go on ahead and tackle the left front wheel cylinder and brake hoses all the way around. And I mean, I got a wheel cylinder for the driver's side too. More than likely I'm going to do them both anyways because it's going to need them. They're both disgusting. So yeah, I'll mess with the brakes and well, in theory, actually at that point, it could be actually a driver. I might actually be able to take this thing down the road, even though it's still got the 3-speed automatic in it, but be able to drive it. I'd much rather have the 5-speed in it, but that's all in due time. So, catch you on the next one.